Stacey Dash. It took me a couple of days to figure out just how I wanted to address your comments about black entertainment television, your comments about the Oscar boycotts by African American actors, your comments about women not getting equal pay for equal work and how that wasn't necessary, etc. And at first, I was going to take the line that a lot of people have done, and I was going to dig into my bag of hyperbole, and I was just going to use all of my words and my tricks and my vernacular, and I was going to try to metaphorically drag you as best I could. However, I feel that Roland Martin, TV1, the anchor, I believe he did a thorough job of dragging you, and I believe that Janet Hubert did a thorough job of highlighting the idiocy of your claims. I believe that Gabrielle Union did a phenomenal job of just highlighting how minuscule you truly are in the grand scape of anything that's happening right now. This is what I'm going to say. I'm going to comment on something that I read. I did a little bit of research and pulled a few receipts. You were quoted as saying, and I'm paraphrasing, that you didn't believe you were beautiful unless a man told you you were beautiful. And so I said, okay, I thought about that. Looking through your history and seeing the 6 engagements and 3 marriages, I said, okay, I can see how that quote may be true. So apparently, you need to be told what your reality is. Your reality is that you are detached from reality. Your lack of common sense highlights that. Let's actually talk about one thing very quickly. I'm not going to make this a very long video. You speak with the clout of someone that's been critically acclaimed as an actress for the past 21 years. Clueless came out in 1995. It was a hit mainstream movie. You received 1 nomination, not mainstream, mind you, and it was the best young actress, and I don't even remember what the awarding entity or body or whatever it is. I don't know what it is. So for 21 years, you haven't been making any major films, nothing mainstream. You have 0 accolades. You are receiving 0 adulation in that regard. Where's your work? You know where you were? You were in videos for Kanye West. You were doing movies like Mo Money and other D-listed B movies. And I really shouldn't even say that. I'm actually going to recant the last sentence. But you were doing movies working with African American directors, producers, probably other actors. These movies weren't necessarily mainstream, yet you were in it. And why were you in it? To us, we saw a beautiful woman, beautiful girl, and we liked you, and we said, hey, you're not getting the mainstream play that you probably feel as an actress you should be getting. You're not getting offered Meryl Streep type roles, but we'll welcome you into our community because you're biracial, and that's what we do. We take care of our own, contrary to popular belief. So you build a resume of subpar work, acting in movies and being a quote unquote pinup girl and basic, like a video vixen. Now, the one thing I want to point out to you is now you want to be a correspondent for Fox News, and I guess you're in an attempt to rebrand yourself and present yourself with a new facade, literally. One thing I will say, I don't understand how somebody with a bad bleaching job is trying to masquerade and gallivant around like she's a Stepford wife. First of all, what you might want to do is invest in a full bleaching process if that's the path that you're going to choose to lighten your skin and lighten your complexion. Because right now it looks like you put half the payment down and you couldn't afford the rest. So you're kind of stuck between being the color you were and kind of like this squash. And it might be because you necessarily haven't had a major hit movie since 1995, so you really didn't have the money to go get the real good bleach job that you so desperately feel that you needed. So now you've eradicated most of the traits of melanin that you had in your skin. You had a beautiful complexion, a beautiful bronze complexion. And for what? To establish yourself as a woman that is abreast on topics and present yourself in an articulate manner, but you're spewing idiocy, the superfluous nature of the idiocy that you entail. You're like a walking oxymoron. How can you be a beautiful disaster? Because that's exactly what you turn out to be. I'm not even upset about your comments about you, because you obviously don't understand that if a portion of a population is marginalized and is left out, then they must have representation, and then that's what they do. I would just say this to you: due to the scattered brain and truly hilarious nature of your desperate attempt to garner attention, whatever they're telling you at Fox News or whoever it is that's telling you that this is how you rebrand yourself, I'm going to tell you who you are. You're a lost soul. You are someone that is speaking for the plight of a people that you didn't mind making a modest check off of and making some modest money off of and presenting at our NAACP Image Awards. So, what's the problem now? If you want to try to present yourself as a professional woman and actually be taken seriously as an actress, you don't have to throw us under the bus because we never threw you under the bus. We placed you on the cover of our popular media magazines. We made you our vixen, our pinup girl. So that's pretty much all I have to say. Just pointing out the fact that you are a woman who up until recently was a very beautiful, you were aesthetically beautiful, yet you didn't believe you were beautiful. And now we get an opportunity to see the unbeauty that was underneath your facade, your aesthetic. Hopefully, if you hear enough negativity, or hopefully, if you hear enough people pulling you and dragging you and calling you out and saying whatever it is they're going to say to and about you, perhaps it'll wake you up. Perhaps you won't have to have that desperate need of acceptance. Perhaps you won't have to, for a seventh time, try to attain some sense or some level of what it is you've been desperately seeking. Perhaps rather than running off and getting on different networks and belittling BET and disparaging the need for a boycott for people that feel like they've been excluded, perhaps you should work on acting. Perhaps you should work on your craft. Perhaps you should reinvest in your own brand because obviously what you're doing is not working. You've been in one major mainstream movie in the past 21 years. To call you irrelevant is a lazy, low-hanging fruit read. It's too easy to say the negative things that are being said about you. I'm wondering, is there some type of damage in like your prefrontal cortex? Or there has to be something that is the chemical imbalance within your brain far exceeds anything that I've ever seen. And trust me, I grew up around people that was crazy as cat. So that's saying something. And I said I wasn't going to use hyperbole. However, you deserve all the hyperbole that anyone can muster, think, fabricate, and ascertain at any given day or any given time for all eternity because you're just stupid. You're not accepted. You're a correspondent. You're not a major anchor there. Fox News is not checking for you like that. You're not, you don't have clout. You say what they tell you to say. Do you feel beautiful?